Hello from Chickenwood Studio. It's December 1st, and I'm Lori, and I'm here for podcast number 3. And thought I would just put together a fairly quick visit with you all before the next week of craziness begins, just to update on a few projects and a couple acquisitions and a couple of things about different things I haven't touched on in the other two so far. And so hi, it's a dreary, can't say November anymore, but it's a November-like day here in the northeast of the U.S. And it's drizzly. It's about 32 degrees or 0 centigrade? Celsius. Anyway, hello. It's raining and drizzly and possibly freezing rain on the roads. And so I'm using a big light, my OT light, for light today, and we'll see how that goes. So my first thing to talk about is I'm wearing a finished object, which I'll have to take off soon because it's so warm. The wood stove is running today, and this really is a coat, but I'm really pleased with it. The sleeves are about 3/4 length, and they're just as short or long as I prefer them. I love the rounded neckline and the big button band. It's very roomy, very cozy, with the hand-spun border Leicester bulky yarn that I had made for it. So this one is a keeper. I'm really pleased. And see if I can go on before I have to take it off, see what I can get done. So the first thing I think I want to tell you is about little Louie behind me. Whoops. Louie, my Louette David loom. And I've been trying to get a warp on it for a baby wrap for my niece. The baby was born September 2nd. She's now about 3 months old tomorrow, and I've had a bear of a time getting this project going. And but now I'm at the point of threading through the heddles. I have to go front to back this time. If you're familiar with weaving and warping looms, you can generally go from the back through the middle to the front to tie on and roll, or from the front to the back. Well, I guess you roll on the back either way, but it depends on which way you run your threads, through the reed first or the heddles. In this case, I had to run them through the reed first. See if I can move this and turn, move a little, oops. This is the front of the loom. This is the beater. I had to take every thread through the beater, 3 threads through each little spot. And now I'm from the other side, I'm pulling them through the heddles, which are 1 heddle per thread. And I have about this much done. And I have to go all the way over to here. And it's slow going, but it's not too hard. I just have to keep persevering. I have to keep sitting at the loom in all manner of odd times and take advantage of little bits of time, because to sit down and do the whole thing at once is tough, physically tough. There goes my phone. Oh dear, this is tough. Okay, back from the phone call. Anyway, I was talking about the project on the loom behind me, and I've chosen to do a twill from this book, which is pretty much the handweaver's, one of the handweaver's favorites, Handweaver's Pattern Book by Marguerite Davison. And it's a kind of an old-timey type of book. It's all black and white, but it is a huge directory of patterns and threadings and basic 4 harness weaving info. It was one of the first books I got. This is the first book I bought when I started weaving, and I started out on a floor loom, 4 harness floor loom, not a table loom or a rigid heddle or anything. I hadn't even heard of rigid heddles at the time. This is the one I started with, and it was super helpful. I went right through it from my first project, step by step, learning to weave. Deborah Chandler. I think she has video out now or 2 that you can, if you're a visual learner and you have the time and interest, you can get a lot of video instruction for weaving. And I just thought I'd bring up this third one, which is a total stitch pattern directory. Not total, but pretty big. Hand Weaver's Pattern Directory by Ann Dixon. And this is in color. And in fact, it can show you some multicolor warps and how they would turn out, depending on how you thread them and how you treadle them. Oops. Really helpful. So a lot of similar patterns in here from the other Davison book, but you can see them laid out a little more clearly in color. Excellent. Over 600 weaves for 4-shaft looms. My little David and the loom I have downstairs are 8-shaft looms, and I have a couple of books for 8-shaft looms which I've used and enjoyed. But there's so many 4-shaft patterns you would never run out. So that's what my baby wrap is, a 4-shaft twill. And then after that, I need to put some towels on a loom downstairs. I have some people that might be interested for Christmas. I don't know if I can possibly get a batch done, but I'm going to try. I have some red and white cotton linen blend and some cream beige color that I think I'll blend together and do a chevron kind of herringbone twill pattern vertical. That'll be interesting and fairly quick, relatively quick. Weaving's not quick, ever, but here's hoping. The next thing I thought I would go right to is just another finished object, the only other finished object for this week. Where did I see? I think it was on Instagram. Carrie from Serenity Farm, who I mentioned last episode, she had posted that she was making these darling slippers with her yarn. And I loved the pattern. So this is the Simple House slipper. Ooh, that's not coming through very well. There's a photo on the pattern. And here's my Simple House slipper with some hand spun. I'm guessing it's Romney blend of white and gray lamb. They were really fun to make. Simple. They fit perfectly. The toe is really cool. It's not your typical sock toe. You have several different points of decrease, not just on the edges. Whoa, here we go. Not so good. Anyhow, they are just so much fun to do, and they were quick, and they would be great little gifts. I'm thinking I might make up some more for Christmas gifts. We'll see. This is about when the Christmas gift list starts to grow and the days to get it all done shrinks, and I have way too many ideas to get done in time. I wish I could get jazzed about it in September or even beginning of summer, but I just don't have the inspiration until about now. Things that I've been working on since I spoke to you last. Can I think of the name? Kay Jones shawl, the lovely Duchess of Devonshire shawl with my friend Amy's alpaca merino blend. That's been a delight. It's a total comfort knit with some interest in the lace panels and then some soothing garter stitch in this lovely light blue, which just looks gray today with this light, but it's coming along. I think this might be the last of the eyelet panels, maybe another garter, and then I think I'm ready to do the knitted on edge, so that might be done before the holidays. If it gets cold enough to need any of this at the holidays, I might be ready. It's really unusually warm here in the Northeast for this time of year. Most people are happy with it, so I'm happy for them. I did work a lot on my Lighthouse mussel shell socks, and I revisited the sweet tomato sock heel, which was successful. I think I had done it once before. It's a separate wedge, 3 small wedges done with wrap and turns, but without any yarn overs or bulky things to connect them. It's really smooth, and I think it looks funny, but I really didn't mind doing it at all, and I think it's going to fit great. And I'm just doing a knit 2, purl 1 rib across the top and then all the way around the leg. And I love how the colors are coming. Really sweet. So that was fun to revisit, sort of relearn something new as I was going up to these simple socks. And I'm looking forward to doing the second sock and the second heel. Another pair of socks I've been working on is the Agatha socks, designed by Claire of New Hampshire Knits. And these are great. I turned the heel and I'm working on the gusset now. Look at that cool pattern. I really enjoy this pattern. And following the directions, it's really working out well that I'm able to keep it going on the instep while I pick up and decrease the gusset areas. That made me really nervous until I reviewed the directions, and Claire has laid it out so clearly with her chart that all the knitting stress goes away once you figure out that you're doing it right. So that's been very enjoyable knitting. Let's see, I made another project bag this week, but I've already given it away to my sister, so I can't show it to you, but I look forward to getting some more done for gifts and things. This is something that I mentioned last time that I hadn't shown you yet. We were talking about scrap sock blankets, or as it sounded on my first recording, it sounded when I listened to it like I said crappy sock blankets. Scrappy sock blankets. And this is a granny square one. And I'm using a charcoal gray. Ooh, boy, that light. I'm using a charcoal gray for the background, and having a lot of granny square fun with all my different leftovers and some new things I picked up and some things that were gifts from others. That's one of the ones from my swap with Mina. So, getting in a crochet mood sometimes. And I don't know when these blankets will be done. I have 3 of them going now. 2 crochet ones, the circles with the flowers and the snow, the square grannies, and the little squares, mitered square, tiny with only 31 stitches. So they're pretty little. That's going to take a long time. But they're really good for intermittent and travel work. And let's see, was there anything else? I think I'm going to move along to something that I did cast on. Another sock. I think I have 4 or 5 socks going now. I picked up some yarn on a sale through Knit Picks, which I don't usually do. I like to support my local shop and my, artisans that I pick up on travels and things, or Etsy indie dyers, but I needed a simple gray-black tonal for a pair of socks for my son and for myself. And I'm trying out their Hawthorne line of sock yarn, the fine Highland blended with nylon. And this is the one. I love the color. I think the yarn is a little bit bigger than sock yarn I'm used to using. The yardage is a little short for a typical 100 grams. I think it was 357 maybe. So I'm using only 56 stitches on this sock. I think it's going to be plenty big for my son. And I've decided to do the skip socks. I do have the pattern here. I had seen that these were on my queue in Ravelry, but I'd totally forgotten about it till I went to clean that out a little bit. And so when I was Googling for a simple men's sock pattern, this one came up. And there's not a photo, but you can see what I mean by Simple Skip Socks by Adrienne Koo. SKYP stands for Slip Knit Yarn Over Pass Stitch Over. And she decided to call it by that name. Makes sense. It's a simple-ish pattern. It's easy to remember, easy to execute. And I'm motivated to keep going on these and have them ready for Christmas for my son. He's 6'4", but luckily his feet are not, I think they're not as big as one might expect of a 6'4" man. But that's that. And while I was shopping, I also wanted to try the stroll. I've heard, oh no, here we go again. Hang on a sec. Okay, welcome back to part 3. I was talking about the Knit Picks yarn. So I had also gotten a skein of the stroll in a similar colorway. Looking very forward to knitting with that. Also in the Hawthorne line, this colorway, which now I don't have my receipt with me, so I don't have the number, but that is a pretty true representation of the color. Bronzy browns, looks like an oak tree in autumn. Just a beautiful. So if I move along quickly on the one pair of socks for the one son, I may get another pair done for the other son. And I have some West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarn coming in for my daughter. I don't think she's going to be watching this. So hopefully you're not, Corinne. And they're the red and green and white with red heels and toes and contrasting. So those aren't in yet, but you probably have seen them everywhere, so you know what that's like. So, and with the Knit Picks order, I did want to take advantage of the sale on the Felici. And this is the Madrigal colorway. I love it. I think it will probably be my Christmas Eve cast on that I do along with Danny of Little Bobbin's podcast. I so look forward to that because Christmas Eve I shared on her forum. One of our traditions has been for many years now to sit down at 10 o'clock in the morning with tea and crumpets or whatever's available, have the house picked up and clean and neat and ready to go, and put on lessons and carols straight from England and listen for, I think it's about an hour, hour and a half service. It's just so beautiful, so peaceful and lovely, and I think that's an awesome time to sit down and cast on some socks while we listen to the music and the readings and picture what it's like over there 5 hours ahead. So those are the acquisitions that I wanted to tell you about. I got a couple solid colors of the stroll too. Not that one's the most interesting. That's kind of a heathery green. Looks blue on the screen. Oh, I'm going sock yarn crazy. And I have so much yarn around, but you all know how that goes. Let's see, I had another subject to talk. Oh, speaking of socks. This was sort of a finished, not a finished object, but a finished chore and a new skill. I had a hole in this beautiful sock. The light is a little garish there. And I looked up about darning, and I have wanted to learn how to do that for years. You see that okay? Does that help? Maybe. And I didn't realize how really kind of simple it was until I think I watched Susan B. Anderson's tutorial, maybe. And I'll check on that, and if it is that, I'll put a link on it in my notes. And I am so psyched that I can do this now because I have had so many dear socks that I've worked so hard on just to go bye-bye because of a hole or two. So I look forward to keeping a lot of socks going in the future. This was my grandmother's. First time I've used it. I've probably had it for 30 years in my sewing basket. Really pleased about that. There's so many neat skills that I hope that we all can keep going. Just have the courage to try and learn them. Someone was talking in my local yarn shop on Sunday about, what was it, hairpin lace? And then we started talking about broomstick lace. And there are just so many amazing needle arts that people used to do all the time. And you have no notion of. And I'm not saying that I want to learn them all and do a lot of them, but it would be great if somebody would, just to keep them alive. So the other thing I wanted to show you today was like a little update from the soap room. I had talked about the soap last time. I think I was making peppermint soap that day. So this is my peppermint soap bar. I don't know how well you're going to see it. Ugh, that's pretty close up and personal. Maybe I can fix the light a little bit. Make it better. Or not. Whoa, nope. Well, it's pink and white, basically. It actually looks a little peach and white today. That's not going to help. And, but it smells delightful. And another day I did lemon poppy seed. I'm sorry, the lighting is really sketchy here. Not sure what to do. Maybe I'll put the light up a little. Just glares on me, but you can maybe see the soap a little better. Just a few poppy seeds thrown in there. Hey, that's pretty good. Delicious. It smells like lemon lollipop. Little exfoliation there. This one is a solid green. It's sea kelp with lavender. Sea kelp is a little bit of an exfoliant. It's also really good for your skin. No, who doesn't love lavender fields? Delightful. It also has some spirulina seaweed in there for color, for green, and some French green clay. And then the most recent one I did is, I want to call it orange pomander because that's what it smells like. If you ever made the little orange decorations I've done it with the kids where you poke whole cloves in designs into an orange and it just sort of sits around and makes your house smell lovely like potpourri. It's one of those Christmassy scents. So I just did some coloring with turmeric for the lower half and then white titanium dioxide, all natural colorings, and a little sprinkling of ground cloves in the middle with cloves and orange and cinnamon essential oils. And oh my gosh, it also smells like those hard Christmas candies that you used to get in a can. We used to have them while we played card games and stuff and pass the can around and eat all those little pretty colored, not ribbon, well, some of them were ribbon candies, but they were just little hard candies. Can't put it down. So, I think that is it for today. I thought maybe I don't know if you can see this. This was a sample of weaving that just happens to be over here of some overshot that I did a while back. And that's the kind of weaving I hope to do on Big Bertha when I get her warped down in the cellar weaving area after the holidays, no doubt. So much more to look forward to, and I hope you are enjoying your first day of December too. So happy Advent, and I sure hope we get some white stuff around here before my son gets home from China. He's coming home for 3 weeks, and he's missed Christmas the last 2 years, and he's so looking forward to some winter. And just hope we can deliver. So until I see you next time, might be before Christmas, might be after. We'll see how it goes. Enjoy each day. Enjoy your making and your crafting and your times with family and friends. And wherever you are, thanks for watching. I failed to say that Piper Mom on Ravelry, LMF Dubois on Instagram, not that I do too much there, and on Ravelry I do have a group called Chickenwood Studio. Just opened it up last time, and if you're over there and you want to visit and join and say hello, that would be great. Visit the introduction thread or start new thread with any questions you might have, and look forward to meeting you there. I don't know if I've forgotten anything. I don't think so. So long from Chickenwood Studio for now. Look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.